So Hospice Vaughan is a community support organization that provides meaningful supports to the residents of Vaughan as they're living with their serious life-limiting illnesses and as they're approaching their end of life.
Hospice Vaughan has been around a lot longer than most people understand.
It started from caring citizens that saw a need in the community.
After my husband passed, I was struggling a lot, trying to find a way to deal with my life. I'm so thankful that a place like Hospice Vaughan exists because I have found a way to still live a life.
I have multiple sclerosis. It can be difficult to even make something to eat. The love and support that I receive from hospice is unbelievable.
My father was technically in palliative care for a long time, for years, because he was diagnosed with a terminal illness. We really relied on the in-house palliative doctor to kind of give us a signal that, we were in the final weeks.
Our unit of care is the whole family, which is a very unique way of caring for anybody. There are so many things that change through the trajectory of an illness that we try to encompass all of them.
I lost my daughter on January 9th of this year, would be 2017. Some people in this predicament will close themselves off to society, and I feel that that's the worst thing you can do. You need to open up.
Within a very short period of time, I lost both my parents. I was having a hard time sleeping and just getting through my day-to-day routine. Hospice Vaughan gave me a safe place to talk to someone about what I was going through.
I lost my wife, and we didn't have any kids, so we were each other's world. To move forward was very difficult. That's why it was so critical to have hospice acknowledge the extent of my world. It was like a wave came over me of just release.
It gave me the opportunity, myself and my wife, to meet other people in this community.
The people there are so welcoming. So going to hospice now, it has changed him and changed me too. I may be his caregiver, but I participate in everything else too.
After my father passed, I think we were all sort of lost in our own way. My mother, as I said, was introduced to Hospice Vaughan, and once that introduction took place, it seemed to uplift her. It was very inspiring for her.
I never miss a day. I love to go. I couldn't wait to go. Even if I'm not feeling well, I push myself to go.
I've had 12 years in hospice, and it's probably the most meaningful work I've ever done. We have a caring community of professionals and volunteers that want to make a meaningful difference.
It's a wonderful organization that is growing exponentially to meet the needs in the community.
Hospice Vaughan is a key community player when it comes to delivering end-stage care for residents that need a different kind of environment than a hospital. There are many ways in which care can be provided. As we look at growing our services, we need to ensure that we're complementing those services with other types of end-stage environments.
It helps to create in you a sense of belonging. If we are to live in this house, looking at the four walls of the room, you develop a sense of loneliness and selfishness. As a result of that, your life is shortened.
We didn't know what hospice was. Once we knew what it provided, it was like a gift from heaven.
The first initial meeting with my group, something happened that day. You won a lottery when you have a hospice near you.
All the volunteers who work at this place, all the people who raise funds for it, it's such a necessary thing that I didn't even know was necessary.
For the individual, for the family, for the participants, there is no fee. There never is.
They opened my eyes to see that I'm not the only one in this predicament. The best things in life are free, and hospice is one of those things.
Hospice Vaughan is on the verge of embarking on an ambitious expansion plan. There is no more universal need in healthcare than hospice palliative care. Only about 20% of us will need a psychiatrist. Only about 30% of us will need an oncologist, but 100% of us will need hospice palliative care.
Hospice Vaughan is just embarking on such an amazing journey. It's tremendous. This plan is not a new plan. This has been in the works for a long time. The facility is going to provide meaningful support for those that are living. It's going to bring interprofessional teams together. It's going to validate what's the most important based on the community needs. And at the end of the day, it's going to cost the healthcare system less.
Our vision for Hospice Vaughan will be to create a more home-like setting with gardens and therapeutic areas for patients and families, and it will allow patients and families to have the maximum amount of comfort, dignity, and quality of life.
The new building will help all aspects of the community. Now that I've been introduced to hospice, I think it is a fundamental component of each and every community right across this country.
Everybody's entitled to a great birth. Everybody celebrates it, everybody rushes to the hospital. But at the same point, everybody's entitled to an even better death. I had parents who, at the early ages in their 60s, to go out like that just didn't seem dignified. I could only envision if the residential component to Hospice Vaughan was there when I needed it, how much easier it would have been to deal with what I dealt with.
Hospice Vaughan needs a lot of help for this new building that they're putting up. We should all try and help as much as we can.
Take the time to understand what Hospice Vaughan does for the community, because you will really understand the value that you will provide Hospice Vaughan.
When the people of this community band together, when they mobilize, when they work hard as they always do, that we collaboratively accomplish great things. The province will be there at the table supporting it, but it won't happen all on its own. It won't happen unless the people who are part of this community are working on this together. Together, we're going to make this happen.
Hospice Vaughan is really the manifestation of all that is wonderful and beautiful about humanity, people caring for people. Pain is not felt as hard when you have somebody there caring for you. We understand how painful this experience is. We understand how painful this loss is to you, because we all go through those difficult times. And we're very fortunate to have Hospice Vaughan there for us.
We all are ambassadors of creating a kind, caring, and compassionate community. We all know what it feels like to be loved, and we all know what it feels like to love others. Really, that's the focus. And building our relationships and building our supports is what we all have to strive for. And together we can do it, but we all have to be in it together and just keep it really simple.